Seed oils are not bad for your health. This is a bullshit myth. If you try to look into the scientific literature, you will find convincingly nothing on the aggregate that shows seed oils are bad for you.
Nutrition is vast and lives in the gray. Very rarely can something truly be considered bad in nutrition, and seed oils are no exception. However, contrary to what Dr. Mike says, there is a rather large amount of research surrounding seed oils that puts into question its impacts on our health, especially with regards to its effects on our heart health, such as this article. But let's dive deeper into seed oils by starting with fats. A fat is a macronutrient, and it can be divided into two categories, saturated or unsaturated. Unsaturated fats contain a double bond and can further be divided into monounsaturated or polyunsaturated, which can then further be labeled into omega-3s, 6s, and 9s. Let's start off by saying that all fats and cholesterol serve a purpose and aren't inherently bad for your health. So, where does the problem arise? The primary issue arises in a process called oxidation. Oxidation takes an electron from a molecule. The oxidized molecule then rapidly searches for another electron, and this molecule is then called a free radical, eventually stealing an electron from a different molecule, which then becomes another free radical, and the whole situation involves the chaos and often damages cells, makes them dysfunctional. This matters for fats because in digesting fats, we need a transporter protein, such as low-density lipoprotein, LDL. Only job is to move fat from the intestines to the liver. Inherently, it's not bad for you, but when oxidized, this thing turns into a beast, oxidized LDL, which causes inflammation in a dysfunctional immune response, platelet activation, which should not be happening here, blood vessel wall damage, and most importantly, macrophage dysfunction. In an effort to clean up the mess of oxidized LDL, macrophages from the immune system are sent out to consume them, but upon consumption, they end up losing their function and becoming what's known as the foam cells. And just as it sounds, these foam-like cells build up a foam-like wall in the blood vessels and are a primary contributor to atherosclerosis. So how do seed oils fit into this? Well, it's our overconsumption of said seed oils. We are what we eat. When absorbing these fats and their structures now make up our cells. Most importantly, our cell's phospholipid bilayer. If this structure is unstable, it is more likely to be oxidized, and polyunsaturated fats are the most likely fat to be oxidized, which will cause damage to our cells. We do need these oils, but up to 50% of all oils consumed in the US is soybean oil alone, which is, of course, a seed oil. Everything and everywhere cooks using seed oils. This means very often, let's say 3 meals a day, 7 times per week, where we often even add extra oil to our meals, we are getting polyunsaturated fats, the more unstable of the fats. So perhaps seed oils aren't inherently terrible for you, but they are very high in LDL and omega-6 polyunsaturated fat content, which do have risks, especially in as high of a dose as we get it. Normally, the ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s is around 1 to 3, but now in the US, it's around 1 to 16 or a 1 to 20 ratio. So I personally conclude seed oils aren't that good for you, primarily because you get plenty of it, and there are safer, more stable fats out there that are well researched, and the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids are well known. In the end, you need to do your own research. 3 minutes isn't nearly enough time to develop an opinion on this stuff. I left out a ton, and you should always be open to new ideas, especially in nutrition, because as stated in the beginning, nutrition is and forever will be a complicated gray area. Seed oils being bad or good is much more nuanced than maybe the video in the beginning will point out, or even this brief rundown will point out.